I remember the days, always at the same place, the same people every day. I will never forget this black old Corvette standing in front of my way. We were both in high school. I thought I was a fool. Oh, when I was falling for you. You keep drawing me in, and I know it's a sin. But even so, yeah, I need you. You taste like candy. Eat you on a Sunday. Feel so bittersweet, knowing I can leave. You taste like candy. Eat you on a Sunday. I can feel the beat of my heart and beats. 'Cause you taste like candy. Sunday, feel so bittersweet, knowing I can leave. You taste like candy. Eat you on a Sunday. I can feel the beat of my heart and beats. 'Cause you taste like candy. Tasty. You on a Sunday, feel so bittersweet, knowing I can live. You taste like candy, eat you on a Sunday. I can feel the beat of my heart increase.
You don't know what goes on behind these eyes. You don't know the loneliness hidden inside. You don't know I wanna eat you up alive. Come and get to know me, my type of wild. I'm the kind that spins you and hangs you dry. Well, I'm already on to another side. If you gave me your whole life, I would still have room for more. 'Cause I've got that appetite. Baby, I never feel whole. You might get me through the night, but it will never be enough. It will never be enough. 'Cause I'm a black gold for your love. Like you, na na na, to my center of gravity. 'Cause it's true.
Good evening everyone and welcome along to TTML Division 2. We are here tonight of course for round 10 of the championship as we take in the Mexican Grand Prix from the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. First of all, Happy New Year! Where have you been the last few weeks? I've been on vacation and so was Division 2, but we're back here tonight. My name is James Hay, going to be taking you through the stream as your head commentator and lead commentator tonight, of course. And joining me in the commentary box, it's not a Thursday without him. It is Mr. Ivor Bryn, Michael Edwards. How you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Happy New Year to everyone as well. Hope you had a very festive period considering the situation. And but looking forward to getting back into some racing once again. And what a track to race at, Mexico. Absolutely fantastic.
It is a fantastic track, isn't it? It's going to be fantastic to watch. But first and foremost, we've got a new platform that we are on, of course, and that is Instagram. You can follow the league, of course, on Instagram and on Twitter as well. But now we're on Instagram. There's going to be a lot of results, I'm sure, posted up. There's going to be a lot of content posted on there. The link is in the description. If you've got the app, you can just literally follow us at the click of a button. It's as simple as that. How does technology work these days? It's simple as that. But TTML now on Instagram, that is the big thing coming out of the Christmas break and literally has been set up today, so go and give it a follow. I will later on for sure. As now we have a look, of course, at the most important questions, and that is the drivers' standings. What happened before we came away for our Christmas break? Well, leading into the drivers' standings, Mashiro, who leads on 204 points. Seb in second on 172. Rumours are Seb not making it here tonight, so that might mean the championship is going to go to Mashiro. We'll run you through the permutations in just a second. But Demmer in third on 155. Jake Hall in fourth on 131. Gary in fifth on 124. Matt Tibos in sixth on 120. Volakongan in seventh on 110. Tionis in eighth on 107. And then Alonso in 9th on 97 and Swain 10th on 93. And Mike, Mashiro 204 points, Seb 172. Rumours are he's not going to be making it tonight. Surely it's Mashiro's to lose.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mashiro has driven fantastically all season, as has Seb, and it is kind of bittersweet that he's not here tonight to really take the battle to Mashiro. We'd like to see it go all the way down to the wire if possible, but Mashiro has done fantastically all season, so if he does wrap it up, there's a person I think more deserving.
Yeah, he drove a really good race from being spun as well on lap 1 last time out in Japan at his home track. And it really took some attribution for him to come back, I think, to finish in the top 5 that day. Really good performance from Mashiro. Running through the rest of the standings as well. Ryan in 11th on a 91 points, with Cowboy in 12th on 60. Nathan in 13th on 42. Trippy Jeff in 14th on 36. James and Cam tied for 15th on 34, then F1 AMG in 17th on 21, 8 Noisy in 18th on 19, Vettel in 19th on 13, German of course being the reserve, and Levan, I'm not going to pronounce his full name because I can't pronounce it, he's finished and he's in 20th on 7 points. Don't want me to say that name out loud, I guarantee you that. McLaren leading the way as well in the Constructors. Championship permutation is a bit more difficult, I think, for the Constructors. But McLaren lead on 324, Alfa Romeo in second on 281, Renault third on 215, Mercedes in fourth on 175, Red Bull in fifth on 152, Williams just only a point behind on Red Bull on 151, then 5 points behind them, Haas in seventh on 146, Racing Point 8th on 105, Ferrari in 9th on 64, and AlphaTauri in 10th on 46 points. McLaren and Alfa Romeo, of course, leading the Constructors' battle. There's 43 points in it. Out of the two teams so far this season, who do you think's been more consistent, McLaren or Alfa Romeo?
I think Alfa Romeo as a team have probably been the more consistent, as they've been pretty close together on track, scoring similar points each time out. Matt Tibos has had a bit of an up and down season compared to his teammate Mashiro, who you can just see from the driver standings an 84 point difference between Mashiro and Matt Tibos. So you can see there that the Alphas maybe a bit more consistent in terms of pace on their teammate, but Mashiro and Matt Tibos doing just enough at the moment to keep themselves ahead.
Yeah, I think Matt's just had a bit of unluckiness, to be honest, if that's even a word. He's been quite unlucky this season, is what I'm trying to say. He got spun out. He had that run of 6th places as well, mastered actually by a 2nd place in Singapore, I think it was, and that really took him really towards the top end of the standings, and that's why McLaren have been so consistent. As you say, I think the 2XL teammates with Dermot Jekyll, the Alfa Romeos, have been so consistent as well. And it begs to question what we're going to see out on track tonight here in Mexico. We are just about 15 seconds away from us getting started here, of course, at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. And we hope that everything is going to be good fun and good racing is going to be produced, of course, out on track. First race of the new year of 2021 here in Division 2 is about to begin. And without further ado, let us get started then, as we wait for the drivers to load into the lobby. Then let's get away for qualifying. Well, good evening everyone and welcome to TTML Division 2. We are here for round 10 of the championship as we take in the Mexican Grand Prix here in Mexico City at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. 3 tyre compounds available for the guys out on track. They are the C2, C3 and C4 compound of tyres, essentially the softs, mediums and the hards. And they're going to be quite critical in terms of tyre deg. My name is James Head, of course, Michael Edwards alongside me in the commentary box. Let's have a look then at this track in question. 4.3 kilometres of length with 17 turns awaiting these drivers out on track. 3 DRS zones, 1 down the start-finish straight, 1 down towards turn 4 and also 1 down up towards turn 12. The baseball stadium section, of course, used to be run as a baseball stadium, but now we go in towards qualifying. It's going to be quite fascinating to see how these guys do go out on track. And now, speaking of which, we are now into qualifying and we'll run you through the championship permutations right now, and I will get them up in just a second. And the championship permutations pretty much are as follows. Mashi will need to outscore Seb by 2 points or more, and Seb isn't here because he's not here, so Mashi will now need to score 18th position or pole to win the championship here tonight. And I can see there's 2 Mercedes, actually, new guys filling in for both of them. Mike, what can we expect from qualifying here tonight?
I think we're going to expect a very close qualifying battle, and it's a new year, but the same old Volakongan first out on track once again.
He does like to get on track first, doesn't he, Volakongan? I completely missed him coming out because he's so far down the order. He's just ahead of Mashiro on our screen. He's on a set of medium compound of tyres, which is quite interesting, of course. They are the C3 compound of tyre. C2, I believe, is the hards, and then C4 is the soft compound of tyre, of course, as we mentioned in our track introduction. It's going to be fascinating, I think, to see how these guys get out on track. We'll talk about tyre deg more as we go into the formation of that, but with Volakongan out on track first, how do you think qualifying is going to set about? Are we going to see a majority of the guys on the softs first, or are they going to go mediums and then transfer to the softs?
Well, Volakongan at the moment is out there on the set of the mediums, and the key with this track is to make sure you set a valid time. It's very easy just to nip over those track limits and validate your lap, as Volakongan now comes out to the final corner at the start of his flying lap. So I'll stay on board with Volakongan as he approaches the DRS zone, where we're going to see quite a lot of overtaking on this run down into turn 1. Braking zone around about in between the 50 and 100 metre borders to go through turns 2 and 3. DRS wide open again on the run down to turn 4. Could see a bit of action into turn 4 here, as Volakongan does very well to hit the apex, and in my opinion a very tricky corner there that we just seen Volakongan go through at turn 5. Very easy to drift out wide on that corner now into the S section of 7, 8, 9 and into 10. You really need to line this up right to get a good run out of 11. DRS wide open again, the third DRS on this track as we enter the fantastic stadium section in the final sector, turn 13 and now into 14. Bit of a slide there from Volakonga as we come through the final corner now to the line. He gets an absolute tank slapper on, and it's a 14.7 from Volakonga as immediately beaten by Ryan on the sots.
Yeah, Ryan about a second quicker compared to Cam now. He's just gone 3/10 behind him, but a second quicker ahead of Volakongan. Really good that time there from Ryan. Cam second, Volakongan in third. Got a few new drivers out on track, which we'll come on to in just a second. I'm going on board though with Tionis as he now comes through the middle sector, through 10, and then through 11, and then through up towards turn 12. Nice and quick through that middle sector. Literally comes at you like 12 rounds with Muhammad Ali back in the day. Tionis now into the baseball stadium section. Let's see what he can do. There is a bit of a glitch on my screen, I can see. Fastest lap is still being shown as Ryan. That hasn't gone off just yet, so I might have to press start in just a second. But Tionis round the final corner, coming across the line. I think he'll fall in just ahead of Volakongan. Yeah, 14 flat. Really nice lap there from Tionis, and he goes fourth. Gary is invalidated on a lap, and one of our new drivers, Kaladre, hope I pronounced that right, is now on a lap in the Haas running down towards turn 4.
Yep, Kaladre, I'm going to go with your pronunciation of it as well. So if we're wrong, I can blame you. But yeah, he invalidated his first flying lap, so this is his second lap on the set of the sauce, and we'll see if he can keep it together now as he goes through the S section. Like previously said, very tricky to keep it all valid. Oh, absolute tank slapper there as he just loses the back end. And do you think that's just a little snap of oversteer or a fundamental problem with his setup?
Gotta be honest, I think that's the setup. I think he just tried to turn in a little bit too hard on the outside of the curb. Try to get the car turned in. The car didn't have it, and an unstable setup and a little bit of oversteer. I think we can attribute to that. It's still a valid lap, and he goes 2,000 quicker than Volakongan, his teammate. He goes 7th, which is a nice lap. Let's focus then on a couple of our new drivers if we can. There's none of them on a lap at this stage, but we'll run on board with Mashiro, who I think is a very good companion to go on board with as he now comes through turn 5 and then up through the double right of turn 6 and 7. Yes, that is counted as 2 corners on the official F1 track map. You can come and at me in the comment section for that one, but Mashiro now coming through the S section, through 8, through 9, through 10, and then through towards turns 11 and 12. Really on the limit through there. That was quick as you like. And Mashiro will be home in a beat. A lap time of 1:13.6 set by Ryan. 54.7 through the middle sector is quick, but I don't think it's quick enough. There is one of the new drivers just ahead. The GOAT, former TTL F1 champion, of course, back in the day. Mashiro now coming around the final couple of corners. Let's see what he can do. The championship leader across the line goes quicker than Ryan by 4/10 of a second. Mashiro lays the smack down on Ryan on top. 6 minutes gone in qualifying.
Yeah, what a lap there from Mashiro, and I'm currently on board with a returning face to TTML. That is Scuba, who you may remember from last season. Very competitive. I believe he finished 2nd in the championship last season, if I remember correctly.
He did indeed. I thought you were going to say more there. Yeah, he did. He finished behind M Short, of course, last season, Scuba, and we're on board with him as well because we're now through the S section. He's just invalidated though, coming through the S section through turn 9, really on the limit through there, taking a very high 6th gear. If I've got to be honest, you want to try and go low 7 so you can force the gravitational pull of the car through the S section and then not make a mistake. But sadly for Scuba, a returning face he may be, but he's invalidated on his lap, on his return, which is never nice, and I'm never nice to go on board with the driver. However, look at the clouds. Look how cloudy it's got in the last 3 seconds or so.
Yep, the clouds have come out, and this track is not a particularly nice one when the rain starts to fall. I don't think we will see it in quali, but never know, as the GOAT goes 13th on a 15.5 in the other Mercedes. We've got Ace Noisy in the middle sector now in the Alpha Tauri. He comes with the S's, just goes a little bit deep through 10 and compromises his run through 11. However, he's done a 55.1 in the middle sector, so this could be decent. I think he's looking around Matt Tibos at the moment as he comes through the final corner. to the line, and it is a 14.1, and that's a very good prediction for myself, if I do say so myself. He was just over a tenth off Matt Tibos.
You did say he would go in and around Matt Tibos, so yeah, that was a good choice of words there, Mike, if I've got to be honest. If you said he was going to go behind Matt Tibos, then I would have at you there, but no. He goes 9th, and in the AlphaTauri won 14.1. In fact, TRT James has not set a lap just yet out on track. There was a bit of movement up the field, I think, there, just trying to pinpoint who that might have been. So Demo, I believe, is on a lap as well, 13.9 through the 13.9 is personal best, but he's invalidated on his lap time as we get the live standings coming through. Mashiro, of course, out on top, currently 113.2, and he's got 2 possible points to his name. What does that do to the standings? Well, just add 2 points basically to what he had coming into tonight, and now he's got a 45-point advantage over Seb.
Yep, and how crucial is it that every single point that Mashiro can get now to really punish Seb for missing this race? Absolutely critical, as we know it is possible for Mashiro to wrap up the championship here tonight, but there's going to be a lot of people out there on the grid who's going to try and be a thorn in Mashiro's side. One of them, the person I'm on board with right now, XL Gary, as he comes through the final sector. Hasn't set a lap time yet, so he'll want to get this on the board, and you'll hope it's a good banker. As Volakongan there goes up into second with a 13.5. Good lap there from Volakongan, and Gary right behind his teammate there by just over a tenth of it, just over 100th of a second, sorry.
Yeah, 1200th of a second separating Ryan and Gary, 3rd and 4th out on track. Really good to see. Halfway through qualifying, and Mashiro on top. Volakongan though with that good lap there in second. So Leaf just blows over his helmet there, and I believe he's run out of fuel as well. So it's going to be a long time for him now to go around the track. Volakongan though second, Ryan third, Gary in 4th. F1MG is another returning phase here in the Ferrari. He now comes around the final couple of corners, either to prepare up for a lap or he's coming into the pit lane. It's the latter. He's coming into the pit lane and he slows right to 50 miles an hour coming into the pit lane. He did need to do it about 200 metres before the pit lane there, but you may as well get your pit limiter on in time.
Yep, I was just on board with Kayla J there. It's across the line to go P5 and a 13.8.
Ooh.
So big improvement there from the Haas as J. Cole pops up in the second with a 13.5.
Oh, but that's beaten by Tionis. Catching on board with the end of his lap there, 113.4. He goes quicker by 700th of a second over J. Cole. Really nice lap time there from Tionis. And J. Cole third. Volakongan in 4th, but Mashiro out on top from Tionis in 2nd, and J. Cole 3rd with 6 minutes and 50 seconds to go in qualifying. I don't think there's any other drivers that's out on a lap just at this moment in time. I believe Matt Tibos has just started a lap.
Yeah, he's just started his flying lap now, coming into turn 1. He'll be hoping to improve on where he currently is, as right now he really wants to get up there so he can put the likes of J. Cole under pressure for that constructors battle, as we were talking about earlier, between Alfa Romeo and McLaren. He's right behind Swadema at the moment, who will be also looking to improve. I believe he's also on a lap behind as we fly through the S section to see how he hooks this up, and it is pretty smooth. Go to the middle sector. He's only marginally up on his time right now. It's not going to be enough to improve his position unless he can find some time in the final sector. So what can Matt Tibos do as we go for the final corner? Matt Tibos now to the line. Is this going to be an improvement? It is. He finds almost 2 tenths in the final sector, pops him up into P8, who's immediately beaten by Scuba, who knocks him down into 9th, Scuba up into 6th.
And Ryan on a lap, he's invalidated a 10th up, I should say, on his lap, but he has invalidated, so the Brit now comes into the pit lane once again. We're nearly 5 minutes from the end of qualifying. Scuba there, yeah, going up into 7th, 113.6. Really good lap time there from the returnee, the Irishman, of course, who has been attributing himself well in TMC on a Friday night, I must add. And Scuba, really good. 7,000th off Ryan. It's noisy across the line to go 5th.
Yeah, Mashiro improved. Is now on a 12.9.
Oh wow!
I didn't get the graphic come up, but I just noticed the time.
I didn't notice that either because my graphics have completely gone off on the bottom. So Mashiro out on top, 112.9. He's 5/10 nearly ahead of Jonas. And he's championship leader. He shouldn't be doing this, surely, going into the penultimate round of the season.
What can we say, Mashiro, for D1 next season?
Well, he'll be promoted because obviously we've got the automatic promotion into place. So that means Mashiro would get promoted as well as the runner-up in the championship. That could go down to Seb or Zwadema. Zwadema is on the lap, I believe, through the middle sector. He's actually down on his time by quite a considerable margin. So I wonder if he's going to come into the pit lane with about 4 minutes to go. It's still Mashiro out on top, Tionas in second, Jekyll in third position, Volokongan fourth, Ace Noisy in fifth. Zwadema's only 1100ths off though, and it's quite a consistent cluster there of drivers, to be honest. Ace Noisy all the way down to Gary, separated by 800ths of a second, separating 5 drivers. That's how close qualifying is around here in Mexico.
Yeah, and it's all going to come down to this final shootout now, as everyone will be filtering around trying to get back to the pits and taking all the fuel out to give it one last ditch effort to really try and put Mashiro under pressure, but 5 tenths ahead, the man in the McLaren, the championship leader. As in fact, Volokongan is currently on a lap. He's just coming up to the DRS activation point on the run down now into turn 4. So Volokongan, let's see what he can do. He's almost a 10th up on his time in sector 1. See if he can hold it and improve on it and go through sector 2, the double right-hander there. As we go now into the S's. Looking pretty planted.
That's quick.
The sector is, and he's actually lost a bit of time.
Through the baseball stadium section. Yeah, he has lost a little bit of time, but he's still going to be good enough to go second, I think. But he's only going to have one more crack at the cherry. Look at the sun there beginning to come through as well. So these soft tyres are always going to go. Volokongan, though, finds a lot of time in the final sector, at least a 10th. He goes second. Really nice lap time there from Volokongan. Mashiro out on top. Volokongan second. Tionas in third. I believe Cam is on a lap as well. He was a 10th up, but I'm not sure what has happened to him. As he looks like he might have invalidated on his last lap, and he's now on a lap, but he's 16 seconds down, so just ignore me.
Gary is over a 10th up as he just invalidates it. As he goes through turn 12. Invalidation there for Gary, and is that his qualifying session over and done with? I don't think so. He's going to go again. But how furious is Gary going to be with that mistake?
He's going to be really furious. He's, what, 1200ths off the back of his teammate Ryan. He's 5,000 off Scuba. If he's got enough fuel, which I think he might do for another run, he's just invalidated there, though. Coming through turn 1, he invalidates again and gets in the way, I think, of F1MG on an out lap there, slightly. But Gary 9th, Cam in 10th, as I think my sound has just gone for my left earphone, which is not that great. Unless it's my ears going. One of the two.
Speaking of Cam out of fuel, trying to make his way back to the pits. So Cam now into the pits. That'll be his qualifying session over and done with. Best he can hope for is P10. But a lot of cars out on track now, all looking to improve, and he may find himself outside the top 10. Sway 2 tenths up in the first sector, but just goes deep there into turn 5, and that's going to scrub off it's going to scrub off about a 10th of time, I think, there, as he now comes into the S's. What can Sway do? See, as he goes deep through turn 10 as well, compromising through 11, and look at that, he's lost all the time that he gained in sector 1. Volokongan's also retired from the session, so Volokongan.
Ooh. Yes, Sway into the pit lane. I think I can see that from the minute I've been on board with Ryan throughout this lap. He's 2/10 up, coming through the final couple of corners now. So let's see what Ryan can do through the final corner. Can the Brit land himself with a good opportunity to go into the second row? Yes, he can. He goes 4th. He goes 1200 up the back of Tionis. Really good lap time there. Jekyll through the first sector is a 10th up. Not sure if there's anybody else nearing the end of their lap. I think Swadema's nearing the end of his lap. Qualifying now over pretty much for those guys in the pit lane. James, Tionis, Ryan included in that. Alonso into the pit lane as well, knocking a lap in another disappointing qualifying session from the German. But here comes Swadema. Round the final corner, comes across the line. He goes 6th behind his teammate. Let's see what his teammate is actually doing. Oh, and he fights control of the car and he's crashed. J. Cole coming through the X of the S section, loses control of the car, a complete and utter spin into the wall. So unfortunate. He was a 10th up as well. F1 AMG has gone 2nd with a 1:13.1. Really good lap time from him. Is there anybody else on the lap? Scuba, I believe, is on the lap coming through the final couple of corners. He's 2/10 up. It's Noisy as well. I'm trying to flick through whoever's closest to the line. It's Noisy now. Round the final couple of corners. Mashiro round the final corner. Does he improve? No, he's into the pit lane. It's Noisy, goes 7th. Good lap time from him. Scuba across the line. Goes 6th. Good lap time from him. What's Gary doing? Gary is down on his lap time. I think that is it from everyone. Yeah, Mashiro out on top from F1 AMG in 2nd and Bola Kongan in 3rd. In the end, Mashiro only beating F1 AMG by 2/10 of a second.
Yep, what could have been for F1 AMG if he was able to get that banger lap early on in the session. You're waiting until the dying embers of qualifying to set that lap, and you gotta think he would have been able to challenge Mashiro if he was able to get a lap in earlier.
Yeah, such a shame, but Mashiro is the man out on top. 2 points to his name. What does that do to the live standings? We'll find out, of course, in due course. But F1 AMG's in 2nd, Volakongan in 3rd, Tionis in 4th, Ryan in 5th, Scuba in 6th. Look at how close Tionis, Ryan and Scuba are. Only 400ths of a second separating them. J. Cole in 7th, Ace Noisy in 8th, Swadem in 9th, Caladre in 10th. Good performance by the debutant in qualifying. Gary in 11th, Johansson 12th, Cam in 13th, Matt Tibbles in 14th. I looked at that and I thought they set the same time, but they're 600ths off. Sway in 15th with Cowboy in 16th. The Gorton has returned in 17th. James and Alonso not getting a lap time in, and they're starting right from the back of the field in 18th and 19th.
Yeah, for Alonso, he's made a bit of a habit of starting at the back in this season, especially compared to last season.
Yeah, I think it's been quite disappointing throughout the season, to be honest, in terms of his qualifying. He can never sort of get a lap in, to be honest, as we go, obviously, into qualifying now. Let's have a recap of the track map, then, in question, and what the track is going to throw up here tonight. 36 laps, of course, awaiting these drivers. Around a 4.3-kilometre circuit with the 18 turns, 17 turns, 18 turns. It's disputed in the track map, of course, but it's going to be fantastic nonetheless. 36 laps, of course, awaiting these guys out on track. And look at the conditions. It looks quite overcast as we now come in towards the formation lap. We will bring up the championship permutations once again for you at the bottom of the screen when the formation lap starts. But it seems like everyone is now getting their setups ready. And I hope we haven't got a glitched lobby. No, we haven't, because the session's just started. There we are.
Yeah, and the conditions out there looking very treacherous, I say. I never trust it when the clouds are grey up in the sky. You never know which way they're going to swing.
Yeah, well, we tried out the telemetry system in Division 1. It's a shame we haven't got it here for Division 2, because we tell you what the weather's going to be like and what the track temperature is and whatever, thanks to Tom, of course, for that big integration within the TES system, which OneHub also uses. But let's have a look in question then at these championship permutations. I'll just get my track map off down at the bottom of the screen, and let's have a look at these championship permutations once again, because with Seb not being here, what Mashiro has to do basically is he needs P18 or pole. It's as simple as that. He needs P18 or pole, which he got, so he's got pole position, so that means he's outscored him, and that means Mashiro is champion.
A little bit anticlimactic, isn't it?
I should have said it at the end of the session, shouldn't I? Goodness me. Let's have a look then at what tyres everyone is on. It's actually quite a straight match, to be honest, right down the field. Mashiro out on top with F1AMG second, Volokongan in third. But looking at the tyre deg around here, it's about 4 or 5% per lap. If we get an early safety car, it might just hammer home the tyres a little bit more in terms of the laps that they can do. Everyone from Johansson downwards is on a set of medium compounded tyres, but Gary really striking out at me is going on to a set of soft compounded tyre when he's starting outside the top 10.
Yeah, I think for Gary, he's thinking, I need to start making moves.
I don't think Tom needs that graphic later on, because we're seeing Mashiro doing some donuts. I think he knows he's now champion. So Mashiro is now champion, even before the race begins. I've never seen anything like that in my commentary career. Of course, we'll see him do donuts later on at the end of the session, but goodness me, Mashiro. Oh, it's doing donuts. That's how cocky he actually is coming into this race. Quickly, Mike, before we get going, who's your top three?
I'm going to go Mashiro, Scuba, Ryan.
Oh, interesting. So a bit of a mix-up there from Mike. Final car's now joining on the grid. That's TTGaming joining at the back. The Irishman taking his position, of course, in the Alpha Tower. Beautiful run down towards the final corner there. As now we're about to get going for these 36 laps out on track here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. And the right light now, come on, the 5 red lights are now on here in Mexico for round 10 of the championship. And it's lights out and away we go. Mashiro gets a very good start, so does F1AMG. But look at Tionis. I think Mashiro's had an absolute disaster of a start. Those donuts have not done him well. Scuba, Ryan all going through. He's lost 5 positions up the start as F1AMG leads down towards turn 1. It could be 3 wide down in towards turn 1, but F1AMG leads. Volokongan tries to go around the outside of Tionis. Ryan right in the mix as well. 3 wide coming out of turn 3. Ryan up. Puts up Tionis at the pass, and now Ryan and Volokongan side by side running further down. Caladre has made a good start. Gary as well having a good fight further down, but it's F1AMG who leads. Ryan second, Volokongan in third. Mashiro has lost all amount of positions. He tries to go around the outside of Scuba. It's Noisy now prone to maybe getting J-Call around the outside of him, but now coming in towards turn 6 and 7 for the first time. Johansson as well, and Matt Tibos getting the move done, and the spinner in the background. TTGaming is round. TTGaming is round in the background of shot, which is unfortunate for the Irishman, but it's that man there, the German, F1AMG, who leads. Ryan in second and Volokongan in third as we come towards the end of lap 1.
Yeah, and we've got to speak on the start from Mashiro. Do you think now that he knows that he's won it, he's just going to take things nice and calm, nice and chill?
Oh, there's been all sorts of carnage. Sorry, in the background, there's been a massive collision. Caladre and Cam have caught each other. Caladre's got a 3-second time penalty for corner cut, and I think he was trying to rejoin on the track safely. Alonso and Matt Tibos, I think, were caught up in that. It's absolute disaster coming into the bit. Corboy was caught up in that as well. Didn't really see what happened, but what I can tell you is that F1AMG still leads. Ryan in second, Volokongan in third. Sway has glitched the timing boards as per usual. Matt Tibos and Corboy, though, into the pit lane. And they're the only ones, I think, to come out with damage on lap 1.
Yeah, Matt Tibos, and this is not good for a constructors battle because Matt Tibos needs to be scoring as many points as possible.
Yeah, so unfortunate, I think, for the McLaren, of course. Down in 19th, he'll only be picking up the 1 point. And look at where the Alfa Romeos are. They're 8th and 9th. So, inevitably, Alfa Romeo are going to be outscoring McLaren, I should say. I need to say Mashiro at this moment in time. Tionis trying to latch onto the back of Volokongan for third and for fourth. Scuba trying to catch up as well. I've been impressed by Scuba's pace so far in this race as J-Cole now tries to go down the inside of Ace Noisy. Doesn't quite make it down in towards turn 13. Now through 14 and 15 through the baseball stadium section. F1AMG leading. Ryan in second, Volokongan in third. We go on board with J-Cole, who's right on the back of Noisy. And Gary right on the back as Redema. Excel trying to excel out on track as we go on to lap 3.
10 rounds and up and he's still...
I'm terrible. They're all in the line as well, so it makes it even worse.
We just got Caladre getting past Alonso. Looks like Cam's going to go for the move as well. Inside the turn 1, Ace Noisy's dropped 2 positions to both Sudema and J. Cole. And Gary.
Wonder if Ace Noisy had a bit of a half spin coming out the chicane, coming through turn 2 and 3. It looked like Ramon. Oh, and actually, he's left the session. So he's just rejoined there. He's left the session, which is a disaster. That's why he dropped the positions. We didn't see that on our screen. It didn't come up. Sway is on the back of Johansson. As you say, Mike, Caladre through and Cam through on Alonso. And Alonso, once again, unless there's damage on that car, those moves were quite easy going down the straight.
Yeah, it seemed like Alonso really struggling with straight line speed. Or actually, speaking of that, if you look at the ERS usage, Alonso on 60%, Cam on 5% right now.
Oh wow!
And Caladre on 40%.
Yeah, so Alonso just running wide there, coming through turn 13. Estorzi now loses the position to Johansson. That will cause maybe a little bit of a glitch with his penalties, so we might have to come on board with that later on. But Sway now latches on to the back of Estorzi, and there's a 3-car train running down the straight, down in towards turn 1. Can Johansson fend off the pursuers in Noisy and Sway? We take this from Sway's point of view. Noisy, though, literally just rejoined the session, and that's how to make up for it. Pass through on Johansson, and he's through and he's up into 10th. But those softs are going to be going off the cliff. Those mediums for Johansson are going to be coming into play as Gary tries to get into Badema down in towards turn 4, but not quite close enough.
Not close enough this time around. You'll have to be smart about his moves and picking the point of where to try and get past. Obviously, the run down into turn 1 is going to be a favourite overtaking spot, but if you can catch someone napping in sector 2, it can be very satisfying to catch someone napping in sector 2.
My left and right has broken my controller. I think it's not working. What's going on? I was trying to get to Mashiro. There is Mashiro in the meantime. He's 5th. Scuba in 5th, Mashiro in 6th. And what I was going to say is Mashiro now is within a second on the back of Scuba. So hopefully Scuba 5th, Mashiro 6th. But Gary closing on with them and running down the straight could be one to watch. Running down in towards turn 1. No, I don't think they're going to be close enough. Running down in towards turn 1. It's F1 AMG who leads Ryan in 2nd, Volokongan in 3rd. I'm going to quickly change my controller.
I know how to fix it, by the way.
Do you?
Yes, if you just press X and go on the spectate and circle the back out, then you should be able to go.
Oh yeah! I thought my controller was broke for a second there. I've done it before. I fixed it before like that, and mine. Oh, as Cam tries to go down the inside of Caladre, as people go right on board there. Caladre 13, Cam in 14. Cam just sort of lumped it down the inside. He's really meaning business.
Yeah, Cam wanted to make this move ASAP because he does not want to be held up when those soft tyres start to fall off the cliff. And honestly, I've been through that as well, where you think you've got a controller issue, but sometimes it's Cody's being Cody's.
Yeah, Cody's being Cody. I think it's probably because Ace Noisy obviously joined the session. 3-second time penalty for Alonso. We'll run about them with the leader who comes across the line and tries to break the toe actually of Ryan. He feels that Ryan is going to be a threat running down in towards turn 4. Gary and Badema going side by side there. I can see in the background now on board with them as Badema is going to lose the position I think to Gary. It's a simple swap I think in the end. The Renault through on the Alfa Romeo and Gary through and he's up into P8. Badema P9. Tiona's trying to catch Volokongan as well. Just seems Volokongan's tyres might be starting to go off the cliff slightly because F1 AMG leading by 0.5 of a second. Ryan just began to pull away, I think, over the last lap or so. And that means Volokongan is going to be under threat from not only Tionas in behind, but Scuba and Mashiro as well. As Tionas gets a real moment coming out of turn 7.
Yeah, but it looks like we got a sprint. I think that
James.
might be James. Yep, James around, and it's not a good day for your namesake down in 17th.
Terrible day for my namesake. Honestly, here comes Scuba on the back of Tionas as well. Tionas through that S section really lost the time. Volokongan, in fact, gained the time. So Tionas now is the one that is under pressure from Scuba and Mashiro in behind. Yeah, James down in 17th position. He's lost a whole of a lot of time. And he's got penalties to boot as well. We'll come on board with the penalties in just a second. But Scuba now on the back of Tionas. This is for 4th and for 5th. As yellow flag in sector 2, James and a VSC is deployed. Just when Scuba was trying to get the move done on Tionas, we get a VSC deployed as he has crashed out the race through the S section. And that is through turn 8, I think.
Yeah, but it looks like he may have just mounted the inside curb at turn 7 and just speared off on the into the wall at turn 8. And for Tijonis, it's going to be a sign of relief that the VSC came out there, because he was really under pressure from Scuba, and we could have seen a move down into turn 1.
Seen pit stops further down the field as well. Caladra into the pit lane to put on a fresh set of mediums. Cam on a set of softs, and Alonso on a set of mediums as well. Most interesting out of that, I think, is Cam onto a set of soft compound of tyres. However, I'm going to interrupt myself as Ryan tries to go for the race lead. Coming through the S section, Volakongan now on the back of him, and F1 AMG's not giving up without a fight, but it's been a disastrous start from the German under the VSE restart, and now Tionis is right into play. The top 4 now separated by 0.6 of a second. The VSC restart has been a disaster for F1 AMG.
Yep, absolute calamities for the German out in front, but Ryan, it looked like trying to move in the S's just didn't work out, because he's lost
in.
a lot of time trying to battle.
I thought he was in. Yeah, I thought he was into the pit lane there, Ryan. I preempted myself. Goodness me, we're going to get 3-1, I think, running down the straight. Here comes J. Cole and here comes Gary. J. Cole on the back of Mashiro. This is on the outside line, running down towards turn 1. Mashiro still there on the inner. J. Cole's there, coming through turn 2, and J. Cole gets the move done on Mashiro. Good stuff there by the XL man. He excels out on track, and he's through and he's up into 5th, but here comes Gary. Is it going to be a double XL out on track for Gary? No, is the answer. Mashiro stays 6th for now. These puns are getting worse, I know.
Yes, 10 rounds in, and the puns. I have no words.
Expect the unexpected, I think is what we come to say now on TTML going forward for the final 2 rounds. Gary's really putting Mashiro, though, under pressure. Under the VSC, after the VSC restart, Gary now putting Mashiro under pressure just begs the question, has Mashiro's tyres gone off the cliff slightly? And we know he did donuts before the race. Just looks like the rear right, taking the hit there, has got a bit of blistering going down it. So I wonder if Gary knows that, and I wonder if Gary's going to take full advantage.
Right,
as he's in.
You can see, yep, Mashiro struggling. He's into the pits now. Fresh set of boots on, going on that McLaren, as is on the Williams up ahead. Tijonis is also into the pits, and honestly, I think that's a good time for Mashiro to pit. He's just been overtaken by J. Cole, and for the sake of the constructors, he needs to outscore both of them here today. He's finished ahead of both Alfa Romeos. He doesn't want to lose to either J. Cole or Redeemer, because that's going to be a big point swing in favour of Alfa Romeo.
Mashiro's been undercut by Scuba. Mashiro's been undercut by Scuba out on track, so now Scuba's ahead of him. Here comes Sway down the inside line of turn 4. Can he get the move done? Yes, he can. Johansson a bit later on the brakes there. And Sway is through, and he's up into 8th. Now the leading medium runner out on track. Everyone else, Beaumont, Tibos and Callboy, who obviously came into the pit lane for damage, they pitted under the VSC. Scuba pitted in a lap later. Obviously he was on the set of softs. But, crucially, not only has he undercut Tionis, but he's undercut Mashiro as well, as I believe Mashiro's just picked up his first 3-second time penalty of the night as well.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think Scuba was ahead of Mashiro before he pitted, so I'm not sure if he undercut him to get ahead. He's undercut Tijonis, and it's going to be interesting to see if he's able to undercut the likes of Volakonga and Ryan, as we've got Gary moving up the others, J. Cole's into the pits, responding to Mashiro's pit stop. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Scuba can get the undercut on our race leader, F1 AMG, as he's all over the back of his teammate right now. You almost squeezed him off track there, the goat. There's Scuba with DRS should be able.
Oh, he's a sitting duck, surely. And is Tionis going to get the run on Scuba? No, I think Mashiro's going to get through on the Gort. Feel sorry for the Gort, to be honest. A former TTL F1 champion back in the day. He's just been literally like a sitting duck, and now he's got Cam behind him, which is even worse because he's on a set of soft compound tyres, and Cam is probably going to make this 4 now for the price of 1 on the back of the Gort. as he tries to look down the inner, down in towards turn 4. Does Gort see him coming? Just about. Can Cam get around the outside through turn 5? No. Gort still defending well. Cam tries to go all the way around the outside. Look at J. Cole in this as well. We'll take this from J. Cole's perspective. Mashiro's all over the back of Tionis just ahead, and now Cam is through and the Gort has to back out, and Cam is through and he's up into 12. But J. Cole is in the worst possible scenario now. He's got Gort just ahead of him coming through the S section, but now, surely with a bit of overtake mode, it's going to be now 5 for the price of 1. And J. Cole is through and he's up into 13th. You've got to feel sorry for the Gort in that position because he just lost 5 positions within a lap.
Yeah, you have to feel sorry for him. And Joe, I'm impressed by how quick Cam has been on those softs, because he wasn't really in this battle before he came into the pits, and he's now well and truly in it, as Scuba has undercut everyone as F1
MG
behind Mashiro.
Wow, F1 MG. Oh, J. Cole nearly goes into the back of Cam. He tries to go down the inside of turn 1, and there's a spin, and J. Cole is round, and that is disastrous for the Alfa Romeo team, and he nearly rejoins and collects his teammate. Goodness me, how that would have been making the headlines here in TTML. But Tionis now trying to go on the inside line of Scuba. We take this with helicopter Cam now. It's all kicked off in the space of about 2 seconds. Scuba now, I think, is through on Tionis. Just about. He gets the move done. He's up into 4th. I think he was trying to defend the position. Maybe his Mashiro tries to go right around the outside of the S section. No, not quite. Tionis 5th. Mashiro in 6th. Mashiro really looking racy. He's got F1 AMG behind him on a fresh set of mediums though. But F1 AMG, because he was in the lead of the race before the VSC came out, that disastrous VSC restart has come back to haunt him, because now Scuba's in the net lead of the race.
Scuba being the first one to pit. I think now Gary coming into the pits, he's stretched those softs longer than anyone else, and you've got to think he's going to be coming out behind Redeemer, possibly behind J. Cole as well.
There was a spinner there in the section coming through the baseball stadium. Not sure who that might have been. It looked like Alonso possibly, but Tionis on the back of Scuba went down and towards turn 1. Mashiro's made a mistake. This could let F1 AMG now in. Coming out of turn 2 and then through turn 3. Cam is through on Volakongan just ahead of him, as Cam got damage on that left side end plate. I'm just trying to look in and see if he's got damage on that left side end plate. No, my camera angle, I think. Volakongan. Ryan tries to go all the way around the outside of 2 of them. Ryan with an impossible move, trying to go around the outside. He forces Cam now off track. These two are now fighting quite aggressively. Volakongan on the inside line could try and take 2 for 1. Ryan, my God, what a move. Ran the outside, going through turn 5 and then through 6 and 7. Ryan is through, takes both of them, and is through, and he's up into 7th. It's like Japan all over again for Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic for Ryan. He spotted the opportunity, and he just sent it. Daniel Ricciardo would be proud of that. He absolutely sent it.
I've got to be honest, since Ryan took that race win in Japan last time out, he has really excelled, I think. I'll stop with the puns, but he has really excelled as a driver, I think, within league racing, and he's really been picking up the performances elsewhere as well. Here comes F1 AMG, though, on the back of Mashiro, running down in towards turn 1. Tionis now could favour a move on Scuba, but Mashiro's still there. Mashiro nearly going careering into the back of Tionis. F1 AMG is still there, but he has to back out, and look at Ryan! Ryan's came from absolutely nowhere. F1 AMG now runs out wide. He's going to let through Volakongan. I think he rejoins track just ahead, and now Ryan could get Mashiro on the run down towards turn 4, but no, he's not going to be quite close enough. And behind, Gary tries to go around the outside of both of them, through Volakongan, through F1 AMG. Can he get the move done on both like Ryan did? No, he gets 1 though. He is through and ahead of F1 AMG. Lap 13 out of 36. Sway leads, Johansson 2nd, Scuba in 3rd. This race literally has gone from 0 to 100 in about 2 seconds. I feel sorry for Tom if he's going to get a top 3 graphic by the end of this.
Yeah, this is is really starting to spice up the
Ryan
VSC and the pit stops.
Down the inside of Mashiro through the S section, and now through the baseball stadium section, goes around the outside, leaves the door shut. That is brilliant driving from Ryan. Cut the door really shut on the curb. Ryan through, and he's up into 5th. He is absolutely mincing his way through the field as Mashiro was into the pit lane, possibly on set of hearts.
I'm
he is.
Mashiro, see if we got front wing, and you think no, it is going to be a set of the hard compound tyres.
So that's why he went for the softs in his pit stop, I think.
I am confused by this strategy because I know from personal experience the hards are not a fast race tyre.
Oh, this could come back to haunt him. Look who's behind him as well, out on track. Matt Tibos is out behind him with a bit of a revving out glitch, so I'll come on board then with Gary, who's on the back of Cam, 6th and 7th. He's now fighting for us. Ryan tries to get another move done on Tionis, trying to go around the outside through 7, but not quite close enough. It's Sway who leads the way. Hansen in 2nd. Both of them are still yet to come into the pit lane. The Gort as well, still yet to come into the pit lane. Everyone else, though, has came into the pit lane. And as you can tell by the black and white flags next to everyone's name, everyone's got penalties. As you can see, there's Badema is now through on F1 AMG. Down the inside he goes, and he's through, and he's up into 9th position as Alonso picks up another penalty. That's 9 seconds now for Alonso out on track. And I apologise if there's a black box just came on the stream there. That was somebody coming online on my friends list. There's Gary now tries to get Cam running down the straight. Easy pickings for Gary. He is through and he's up into 6th. But can Volakongan get onto the back of Cam before time runs out down towards turn 1?
Looking around the outside of turn 1 on Tijones, and is he going to be able to do this? Yes, he does. Up into a net P2 now for XL Ryan.
Tell you what, the handbags are out here tonight in TTML Division 2. Might be the first race of the new year, but we really have not stopped. Volakongan, by the way, did get through coming out of turn 3 on Cam, and he's through and he's up into 7th as well. God, we need Tom to be our 3rd wingman, I think, out on track tonight, because it's absolutely insane. Everything, though, is just bordering on the line of aggressiveness, I think, out on track. But the more that these guys fight, actually, the more that Sway and Johansson, I think, could come into play later on. I know they're going to be further down the field, but those guys on the softs, you would imagine, will have to pit again. Some guys on the mediums towards the end will have to pit again. Sway and Johansson, they're going to be about 6th, 7th, I think, when these second pit stops come about.
Yeah. But right now, I'm looking at the penalty situation. Scuba, Gary, and Ace Noisy keeping it very clean on penalties right now, as is Cowboy. As here we go, Ryan now
Cam in
through on Scuba as Cam retires in the session, coming up to the pits. And we got a spinner. That's the GOAT.
The Gort ran, yeah, through the stadium section there, coming through 14 and 15. So unfortunate to see. But as we come to the halfway stage, goodness me, I can hear some frantic work going on in behind me in the commentary box. We have got Tom in with us in the commentary box. I can just hear him typing away there. Tionis in 5th, Gary in 6th. But the man of the moment is that man there, Ryan, who's actually got past Scuba. Did we mention that? He's got past on Scuba?
Yeah, I mentioned it.
I mustn't have mentioned it then. I was too giddy, I think. Ryan, though, leading in the net lead from Scuba 2nd, technically out on track. Tionis and Gary just in behind these guys. Volakongan, I've been impressed with his pace on a set of mediums. He's on fresher tyres compared to the rest of the guys around him on that same set of tyres. He's really impressed me, I think, in terms of pace, as Johansson has came in from the lead of the race.
Yeah, Johansson in. It'll be interesting to see what strategy he's going to go on to. Could possibly be the 2-stop, and it is going to be the 2-stop. He's on a set of the soft compound tyres. We'll see where he comes out. I think he'll be just behind his teammate. Yes, Alonso goes through there, so he comes out in 13th, but on much fresher rubber, he is going to be flying.
F1 AMG loses yet another position out on track. Caladre now through and he's up into 10th. A really easy move down and towards turn 1 from Caladre. F1 AMG in 11th. Cowboy now ahead of Matt Tibos. Matt Tibos is back into the pit lane. And looking at his tyres, I think he's gone on to a worn set of mediums. Unless they're wrong, that's a worn set of mediums he's on. He's on 2-lap all mediums. What, with 19 laps to go? That's going to be quite close to get it to the end.
Yeah, and just looking at this battle right now between Scuba, Tijones and Gary. Gary is all over the back, trying to use the advantage of those soft tyres, but he still has the advantage, like his teammate did. And Ryan actually now 2 seconds ahead as Gary picks up a 3-second time penalty and Sway into the pits. But look at Ryan, 2 seconds ahead now. absolutely flying on those soft tyres.
He's flying on the set of softs, but for how long? Because those tyres are going to inevitably go off towards the end of this stint. Here comes Tionis on Scuba. Here comes Gary on Scuba as well. Tionis trying to go to the inside line, locks up. Doesn't go into the back of Scuba. Gary takes full advantage of this though, and the Irishman tries to go around the outside through turn 2 and 3. Volakonga now into play, possibly to try and get both of them, but I think he's too far back. Tionis and Gary, side by side, the timings are pretty much level pegging, as Tionis now tries to go around the outside of Gary, through turn 4, through turn 5, Tionis is through, Volakonga's on the inside of him, trying to go down the inside through 6 and 7, can he get the move done on Gary? No he can't, I think Gary just about hangs on, they're still side by side though, Volakonga trying to go all the way around the outside. He might be able to get this move done though. Tries to go around the outside, not quite. Jay Cullen behind picks up a 3-second time, but he's with Derma as well. With penalties in behind, trying to latch onto the back. And I think in all of that as well, there was another 3-second time, but he picked up as Volakonga tries to go around the outside of Gary again. This is unbelievable. All of this is letting Ryan steal away by 3 seconds now out on track.
Yeah, Ryan is just doing a fantastic
F1
job.
AMG round.
F1
Yeah, and he cuts across the, and inevitably that was going to happen if he cut across the chicane there. 10-second time penalty. Here comes Volakonga though on the back, and Tionis on the back of Scuba. Round 2 between these two. Volakonga tries to go around the outside of Gary. Not quite close enough. When are we going to catch a break in this race? Sway is through on Johansson as well.
I don't know. We'll have to organise a scheduled lunch break or something. But we'll have to speak to the union about that though. But look at this train from 2nd all the way down to 8th now, and I'll tell you what, looking at Ace Noisy, he's keeping it clean on pens at this stage of the race, and he's going to be picking up a healthy amount of positions at the end of this race if he can keep with this group.
He can't do it, can he? He can't win this.
The race?
Yeah, I think he might win. I think he's in a chance, possibly, to even win this. Because Scoop on a set of mediums. Ace Noisy's on 7-lap old softs. They're going to be around the same wear in terms of the tyres. If Ace Noisy pits in, uses instinct, and doesn't catch on the back of this train, he pits in before these guys essentially fall over the top of each other. He could be within a chance of winning this, I think, as long as he plays his cards right. But I'm not sure.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see when he decides to pit, because we've seen how powerful the undercut is just in that opening set of pit stops, and honestly the big threat now is whether or not Ryan will have this same pace on the mediums when the likes of Scuba, Tijonis and Volakonga will be on the softs. That's going to be another key question that will be answered. Right now Scuba, he is causing a train, and it's all aboard the Scuba train right now. As we go through the S's.
That's absolutely great. I'm sure the Beatles, I think, would be proud. No, I'm thinking Yellow Submarine. I don't know why I'm thinking that. Scuba, Submarine, say, just roll with it. We know. 3.2 seconds, Ryan leads out in front of the Yellow flag in section 1. F1 MG is out coming out of turn 3. Is that going to deploy a safety car, I wonder, out on track? Yes! Literally bang on! And everyone now, Ryan's in. Everyone's going to filter in. Now what does this do to the race in question? This gives us a final break, actually, out on track from the action. Safety car now deployed right on cue. And Ryan is going to be essentially the virtual Marlander. Johansson has picked up a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Sway, and that will come back to bite them, I think, with Sway and Johansson. But it could also fall into their remit, quite literally, 10th and 11th.
And you've got a feel for J. Cole right now. He is stuck behind his teammate, double stacking, of course, under the safety car, and he's going to lose a whole heap of. Because Archie, he didn't lose that many, to be honest, but he did lose out big time to Ace Noisy, who's managed to jump Redeemer as well.
And J. Cole.
Yeah. And Gary losing out a little bit as well. Obviously double stacking with Ryan, but safety car will punch them all back up again. We was talking about Ace possibly being in the shout for a win. The safety car now is kind of taken his potential undercut out of the question, but now is about keeping it clean on penalties, and so far he's been doing a fantastic job in that respect.
And Scuba's been doing a fantastic job as well, yeah, in fourth. Both of them have not picked up a penalty. Callboy, he's on a set of soft compound of tyres. He has not picked up one penalty either out on track. Callboy could be in for an absolute field day if he keeps it clean out on track, because look at the penalties. I'll just get the graphic up on the right hand side. Look at that. 3, 9, 6. So many numbers in amongst them 7 drivers ahead of him. And Callboy has not got a single penalty. Callboy could be within a shout of possibly jumping up, maybe even to somewhere like 5th, 4th, maybe even to a podium if penalties go his way.
Absolutely, and I was just saying oh no there, because I just seen that Matt Tibos is on the set of the hards, and I don't think he had a fresh set of mediums left.
He didn't, because he was on 2 lap all mediums, wasn't he, before he came into the pit lane?
I would have stuck that on mediums, I would have if I was mad.
Yeah, 19 laps though on a set of mediums. They're going to be, not dropping off at the same rate as they would, obviously going full pace 100% throughout the lap. Matt Tibos though, Callboy has just literally came into the pit lane, by the way, and that run of penalties, I think, is still going to get him up positions, but literally what I just said there, the last half a lap or so ago, yeah, he's just came into the pit lane, and now I don't think that's going to happen.
Well,
just my luck.
I mean, the good thing is he will close up to the back of this pack again. But what this does, this actually throws a spanner in the works, because I didn't actually notice this, but Scuba has been jumped by Tijones and Volakongan in the pit stop phases.
He has. He has. And that could be disastrous, because obviously if the safety car comes in this lap, it's going to be fascinating to see what these guys actually do. I'm not sure if the safety car will come in this lap. Scuba's left the session. Scuba has disconnected from the session. That's an absolute disaster, and Alonso's picked up a 5-second penalty with Johansson as well. Safety car's not going to come in this lap, I don't think. Callboy and Gort not onto the back just yet. But Scuba, if he can rejoin the session, is still going to be in P4, because what the guys will do in behind is they're going to have to wait behind that ghost car. This could cause all sorts of mayhem and all sorts of carnage. And in fact, I think Scuba's into the pit lane. Scuba's AI is into the pit lane. This is an absolute disaster. This is not human control. And it's just rejoined.
13 lap all up mediums.
Oh my god. Codemasters, if you're watching this, please hang your heads in complete and utter shame. The AI coding on this game is just something else. And Scuba, bless him. You've got to feel sorry for him. He was on... He had no penalties. He was in a chance of winning this. And now the AI, because it's came into the pit lane and put on 13 Apple mediums, he is probably rejoining this session now. And he's probably thinking to himself, what the F? Is all I'm going to say. He has just literally rejoined, and he's going to look through and scroll through now and just be like, what on earth has just happened? I cannot describe what has just happened there, but you have seen it firsthand. That is the unfortunate coding of Codemasters, I think. It's as simple as that, and we should hopefully have the safety car back in, but that's just robbed Scuba a chance of winning this.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only lagging out the session, like that's bad enough in itself, but the AI pitting from fresh mediums to go onto a set of 13 lap old mediums. Like, there's no logic in that from the AI.
They must have selected a softer compound for that to happen. I can only describe that. If they're going 3-stop, they could only do the soft compound of tyres. Anyways, safety car is coming in this lap. We'll better get back to the action out on track. We will have 13 more laps to go. And, well, this race has just been turned literally upside down. We're not sure what is going to happen now. Be prepared. Grab some popcorn. We're in for the last 13 laps here as Ryan backs up the field very nicely coming out the final corner. He's got to keep a consistent pace. J. Cole's just had a collision with Caladre further down the field. Sway and Johansson are dropping positions as well, but we're back underway, and Ryan has absolutely stolen the march. 0.5 of a second from Tionas. Scuba and the Gorse are into the pit lane, I think, as Gorse and Corboy and Alonso are going side by side. Here comes Ace Noisy now on the back of Gary, trying to get the move done down and towards Turn 1. All hell for leather as Ace Noisy is now through, trying to go down the inside, now around the outside, coming through Turn 2, but Gary parks the car absolutely brilliantly, and he rejoins just in front, literally cuts the nose off nearly the front wing, and he's through and he's up into fourth as with Emma now trying to switch one way another. Ace Noisy got to make two moves, of course, going into the defensive zone of the into the braking zone, I should say. One to defend the position and one to move across and try and defend the position out on track. That's within the rules, and that's what should happen. Caladre right on the back of him, but Ryan leading, Tionas in second, Volakongan third, Gary fourth, Ace Noisy in fifth position out on track. 12.5 laps to go, and goodness knows what's going to happen. I think we're going to see an overtake fest.
Yeah, and I've just noticed as well, Spielberg came into the pits as well for a set of the softs, and it's 8 lap softs.
My goodness me.
I have no words.
I have no words either. What I do have words for, though, was Caladre right on the back of Swadema now. Lap 25 out of 36. Caladre is surely on the set of softs, is going to get the move done now on Swadema, down in towards turn 1. His ERS and his overtake mode not on 9, but Caladre through, and he's up into 6th position. Really good move that. He's on a fresh set of softs. Those softs, I don't think are going to get to the end. He will have to pit again, won't he?
I think he'll be reaching the absolute limits of the softs. He's definitely going to be hitting the cliff. It is possible that he can stretch him to the end, but it's going to be a tall ask, especially if he locks up as much as what he has been doing.
Mashiro just made a slight mistake there, riding on board with him. There is your champion-elect. We have got a post-race graphic, by the way, with Mashiro, now that he's spoiled Tom's I've just lost my train of thought there. That's what happens to commentators. Your mind goes blank sometimes. Alonso, Janssen, Mashiro. Yeah, Mashiro, as I was saying, he is the champion-elect, and hopefully we're going to have hopefully we're going to get an interview with him later on. DRS now enabled out on track, and hopefully we're going to see some great action with just 11 more laps to go. Hansen on the back of Mashiro. This is for 10th, and for 9th position, Jonas on the back of Ryan as well. It's going to be quite close, I think, this race towards the end.
Yeah, and I was just looking at the penalty situation right now, and the gap between Ace Noisy and Ryan. Ryan obviously having that 3-second time pen. Ace Noisy 2.5 seconds behind Ryan, so it's not out of the question for Ryan to still pick up this win.
Yeah, I mean, Jonas right behind him, 6 seconds off. Ryan there in the lead of the race. Jonas second, Volakongan in third, Gary fourth, Ace Noisy fifth, Caladre in sixth. 7/10 of a second, Volakongan picking up another 3-second time penalty out on track. It's an absolute disaster now, as Gary is now hunting him down, possibly, as we get the penalty situation there up. 15 seconds worth for Volakongan, 14 seconds worth for Caladre. The Gorse just picked up 17 seconds now for the Gorse. Further down the field, we've got 11, 12 from a few drivers as well. Ryan, Tionas, Volakongan. Volakongan is now in danger, maybe, if he picks up more warnings, of getting disqualified from this race.
It'll be disastrous for Volakongan, but here comes Gary, DRS wide open. He's just going to swoop on by. Ace being overtaken by Caladre, as Caladre down the inside into turn 1, and Caladre up into 5th, right behind his teammate.
Yeah, he's through, and he's on a set of soft compound of tyres, of course. As you say, they're going to reach their limit, I think, towards the end of the race. But Ace Noisy in behind, with Emma, J. Cole, Mashiro, Johansson, all in the mix, possibly towards the end of the race. As Sway sets the new fastest lap of the race of 1:14.8. Scuba, by the way, has came into the pit lane again, I believe, and he's now on for a fresh set of softs, which I'm really glad to say, after his disaster of tyres over the last few laps. Also, he is in on a fresh set of softs, and now he can try and set the purple, the timing beams alight, essentially out on track as we've got 9 more laps to go after this one. Ryan leading the way, Tionis in second. Tionis is putting Ryan under a lot of pressure though, and he's beginning to gap Gary to about a second, and that's now forcing Gary to try and catch back up. Maybe use a bit of overtake mode, but now Tionis has got a possible look in on Ryan, and I can only see where this one is going to go. So I'll shut up when we go down the straight. There you are. Tionis is through on Ryan and he takes the lead of the race. Simple as that. You can spot it from an absolute mile off.
Yeah, and I know we keep mentioning what's going on with Scooper, but why is the AI pitting on the 8 lap old sauce when you had a fresh set of sauce?
Oh, Ryan's on the inside for the lead of the race. There's contact between them both. Tionis just about hangs on to the lead of the race. Ryan there in second, trying to go for a gap that really wasn't there. Gary is beginning to lose himself, essentially 1.5 seconds off the back of Ryan. But I think this might be done so that Ryan can try and win this. He's going to be given a real fair crack, I think, by Gary. But Gary's probably contacting him now in the party, and the saying as Volokongan and J. Cole has picked up 3-second time, but he's Caladre as well. 3-second time penalty out on track. Gary, 1.4 seconds. Is that enough for him to pull off a tactic which enables Ryan to possibly win this? Ace Noisy, in amongst all of this, could potentially win this all.
Oh no,
no, he doesn't.
The commentator curse comes out.
Literally right on cue. Right on cue, he picks up a 3-second time penalty. You could not write the script. You could not write the script, everyone. Goodness me. J. Cole, Mashiro, Matt Tibos now, side by side with Cowboy, I should say, further down the field.
Ryan with a 3-second time penalty, and now that puts Gary into the net race lead.
This is unbelievable. So Gary now, all he's got to do is stay within 3 seconds of Ryan and 6 seconds of Tionis. It's easier said than done, though, when you're trying to fend off the attentions of a right train behind you.
Is it going to be Ryan? Is it going to be Gary? I mean, Gary did look like he was trying to play the team game, but now has the opportunity to take this win, and you gotta believe he's going to be going for it now. He'll
have to. He'll have to go for the win. Ryan is probably... Well, obviously these drivers can get informed on the left-hand side of the screen, where the graphics obviously show the penalties, but Dema with a 3-second time, but he's just been picked up there as well. And that now means, essentially, is that was Caladre, I think, getting very wide in the background of shot there, coming out of the baseball stadium section, trying to take a wide line going into the final corner. Now, with 7 laps to go, Tionis leads, Ryan second, Gary third, Volokongan fourth, but for how long? Here comes his teammate Caladre, about to go side by side, running down the straight. Here comes Caladre. Is the Dane going to get the move done on the Norwegian? It's a battle of the Scandinavians at Haas. They come through turn 2 and 3. Just about. Caladre forces the move, and he's through, and he's up into 4th position. Volokonga now going to try and come back. Uses the last embers of his overtake mode. Trying to go down the inside line. Caladre gives him room. Caladre, though, is through, and he's up into 4th. And I remember, actually, Caladre is part of the IFR team, which has foul because he tries to go up the inside. Volokonga makes contact with the rear end. Caladre is teammates with Falk. If you remember Falk from the 24 Hours of F1, him and Caladre are in the same esports team. Just clicked on there.
Very interesting. And right now, I'm looking at Cowboy. He's the only one who's kept it clean on penalties. And how high is he going to jump up?
He's going to jump up at least 6 positions. I can tell you that now, because the 17 seconds, 18 seconds. He's going to jump up above the ones that are in double figures, maybe above Tionis. And that might be it. I'm not sure. Cowboy could end up winning this. You never know. With the amount of penalties that everyone has picked up. Here comes Ace Noisy now on the back of Volokongan. Not quite close enough. J. Cole as well on the back as Wadema. Mashiro's responding well, I think, to the pressure. Obviously, he's wrapped up the championship, and no matter what position he now finishes in, he could come into the pit lane, to be honest, and do a pretty much 5 laps of honour, and he'll still win the championship out on track. But Mashiro, in 9th, right in behind J. Cole and Wadema, is going to be really trying to find a way through on this big train, which spans pretty much now from Caladre down to Alonso, who was just hooked onto the back of this.
Yeah, the train is in full effect, and I tell you what, looking at the pace between Gary and Ryan, I think DRS is the only thing that's stopping Gary from closing in on these two.
Oh, I've just been told by Maze as well. I'm sorry that I've just seen this. I'm just checking through on my iPad. Maze saying there's no automatic runner-up spot. They have a choice to go or to stay up. So that might mean Seb or Zwadema will get the choice of whether they want to stay in Division 2 next season or if they want to go up. So I didn't realise that rule had changed. So thank you very much, Maze, for telling me that. I'm sure he's in the comments there as well. Matt Tibos into the pit lane there, and now Jekyll 8th, Mashiro in 9th as we come through with just 5 laps to go. I really hope Tom's top 3 graphic is ready, because I don't think he's going to get a top 3 graphic at this stage of the race, because you don't know what's going to happen in terms of the penalties.
Penalties are going to play a massive part in the outcome of where everyone is going to finish, but Tijon is picking up another 3-second time penalty, and I'm beginning to wonder who is going to be getting disqualified, because it's got to be a few very close to it.
Gort on 20 seconds is who aligns me the most. He's further down the field. He hasn't picked up a penalty though in a while, but he's got 20 seconds. On his return, actually, he's in 13th position. Scuba now and Sway having a bit of a gentleman's agreement. They end up going past each other, and Scuba's now he's up to 15th. Bit of a gentleman's agreement with 4 laps to go between Scuba and Sway. Sway running 8th gear, actually, out on track. Really? He's running 8th gear.
Really?
Throughout the first sector, he was entirely 8th gear. I wonder if he had an issue maybe with the controller, or his gears have now gone. I don't know. Here comes Ace Noisy though down the inside of Olakongan through turn 4. We're cutting away from the action, the lack of action further down the field to bring in the action further up the field. Ace Noisy now trying to go around the outside of turn 7. This is a brave move from out the AlphaTauri against the Haas, but the Haas just about going to come out on top, I think. Olakongan on the outside line. Ace Noisy is through. Brilliant stuff by Ace Noisy. He is through and he's up at the 5th. Swadema now going side by side with Olakongan. Oh my goodness me, they didn't make contact. And now Mashiro and now Jekyll get in the fight as well. 2 by 2 like Noah's Ark. They go into the baseball stadium section, and we don't have a clue who is going to win this race still. Jekyll around the outside of Olakongan, and Olakongan has been bullied out of 2 positions, but now Mashiro conquers into the back essentially. Johansson now through, all kicking off with 3 laps to go here in Mexico. Tionas leads, Ryan second, Gary in third. Olakongan is into the pit lane, maybe either to retire the car or to go for fastest lap attempt.
Interesting to see what Olakongan is going to do. Just a little update on the gap between Gary and Ryan. It is 2.7 seconds, and
goodness.
So someone with Johansson there, who just got a little bit tail happy.
How did he recover that? It was like a bit of a half spin, to be honest, coming out the corner. Just been informed as well by Tom, can you select the leader until the finish? And we'll do the penalties on the last lap as well. That's his communication from us there. Mashiro in 8th, Jekyll 7th, Johansson in 9th, but Tionas is leading. He's done an absolute sterling job out on track, regardless of the penalties. Gort, by the way, has now got 23 seconds worth of penalties out on track. Tionas then leads us onto the penultimate lap of the race. Ryan in second, but that man there is possibly going to win this. Gary could win this, and Ace Noisy could pick up second out of all of this as well, as he now tries to get Caladre down the straight, and Ace Noisy's through and he's up into 4th.
That DRS is starting to bring Ryan right into play here, as he is really onto the back of Tijonas now.
Oh, he's got no ERS left though. Here he comes down the inside line into towards the final couple of laps we come. Ryan tries to go down the inside. He switches back to the inside. No, not going to get there. No way at all. Ryan really wants this out on track. Look at the gap, actually, between him and Gary. It's 3 seconds. We don't know what's going to happen.
Yes.
It's 3 seconds. I think Gary might be just holding back. He might want Ryan to win this one. It's going to be so difficult. If Ryan can keep up the pace over the next lap or so, Gary might just hunker back because he's 2.8 seconds to Ace Noisy and behind. Gary's got nothing to lose, really. Well, apart from the race win, he's got nothing to lose. But will he let Ryan win this because he's the car ahead? Interesting times as we go in towards the final lap of the race. And we'll ride on board them with the penalties in question. Tionis, 12 seconds. Ryan in 6 seconds. Well, you can make it up for yourself. Looking at the penalties, Volakongan now has picked up 21 seconds worth of penalties out on track. Oh, final lap. And I don't know who's going to win. There's Volakongan and Matt Tibos and the Gort fight for position coming through the S section.
Yeah, fantastic. And the gap between Ryan and Gary is hanging on the teetering edge here. As Ryan, is he going to be close enough to make them move? Not
No.
at this point, and I think
Look
that
at the gap.
might cost him.
Look at the gap, 2.9 seconds. They've got to try and get this right. If Ryan is going to get the win, Gary has got to get this spot on to try and let Ryan win this. Because 3 seconds, of course, will be the crucial point out on track. We ride on board with then with Ryan. Coming out of the final. Couple of corners through the S section, runs wide slightly. Tionis is going to win this one out on track by the looks. We've seen Volakonga move past Matibos further down the field, but Tionis now round in through the baseball stadium section for the final time out on track. It's going to be an insane victory from the Norwegian, but the penalties are going to come back to bite him. Is Gary going to want this one? Tionis ran the final corner to win. Will Ryan win? No, because Gary ran the final corner, takes it by 0.4 of a second, and it is a 1-2 for Renault right at the death. Brilliant. And Tionis gets a podium. Mashiro was 1100th off Spadema for 4th. Unbelievable. Callboy now across the line to finish in 11th position. Where's he going to jump up? He jumped up to 7th. It's absolutely insane. Volakonga now across the line to finish in 12th. Matsibos ahead of him in 12th. Volakonga 13th. The Gorse across the line in 14th. Disaster, and he picks up a 5-second penalty, an unserved penalty as well. Scuba now around the final couple of corners in 15th position. A disaster from his AI. He spins towards the final couple of corners now. Scuba across the line in 15th. And Sway, who we can only imagine has got an issue with gears, because he's still running 8th gear as we ride on board with him, is going to come across the line to finish in 16th position. My goodness me. My goodness me? My goodness me. Gary wins. Ryan in 2nd. Tionis in 3rd. As we see Sway now coming around the final couple of corners. He'll eventually get to the line and Sway across the line to finish in 16th position. And he actually, I don't think he makes it to the line actually. He might have just DNF'd there. But what we can tell you is Mashiro has been crowned your Season 2 Drivers Champion. An automatic promotion will be going his way to Division 1 next season. The rise of Mashiro has been phenomenal from Division 3 to Division 2 and then to Division 1. The champion has been crowned here in Mexico, but to the top step of the podium goes XL Gary, takes a selfie. What a cheeky so-and-so. But it's good to see Gary on the top step of the podium for, I think, the 2nd time this season, if I'm not mistaken. I could be the 3rd, I don't know.
I think he's won twice now.
Spain and somewhere else.
I'll have a quick check now. Hang on.
Spain and Singapore, was it? I don't know. Answers on a postcard. We'll run you through then the race order when Mike does that. Gary wins by 0.4 of a second in the end. The penalties really came crucial. Look at the lap time actually between them both as well. 1,000th of a second separating Gary and Ryan's lap time. That's how consistent they both are. To the top step of the podium they go. Tionis in 3rd with Spadema 4th. Mashiro in 5th. The champion crown there in 5th position. Great race from him. Ace Noisy in 6th. Callboy in 7th. Johansson in 8th. J. Cole in 9th. Alonso in 10th. Caladre in 11th. Matt Tibos in 12th. Bolakong in 13th. The Goat in 14th. Scuba 15th. Sway in 16th. Picks up the fastest lap point as well. F1 AMG, Cam and James not finishing out on track. Gary out on top though. Ryan second, Jonas in third. I think it might be time that we get them in.
Yep, and answer your question, it was Baku that Gary won.
Baku. So Baku and... Was it just Baku?
Yeah, just Baku.
Just Baku, so it's the second win then out on track, which is absolutely brilliant. And I've just seen him in the comments, in the Discord actually. Effing finally is his comment. He's been so unlucky, but now he comes to the top step of the podium. I'm sure we will try and get the top 3 for you in 4 interviews. And it has been a long night, of course, of racing. Yeah, we can try and get the champion in as well. I'm not sure if Mashiro has a mic, but we can try and conduct a Discord interview maybe in time for next week, which will run through for the season finale, I'm thinking. That'll be the best option, I think. But, yeah, we'll wait until Mike gets the top 3 in. And it's been an absolutely brilliant race. Bit of an over-aggressive race, to be honest, in terms of the driving standards. I know it's the first race back of the new year, but certainly the driving standards have got to be maintained here, of course, in TTML. Remember, of course, you can follow us now on Instagram. I'm sure that plug is now going to come up for you in form of a graphic. And the Instagram, we are now, you can follow us now on Instagram, TTML on Instagram. The account is within the description, of course. If you want to give us a follow, just click on the description, go to Instagram, and then follow us on the account. And I'm sure there'll be plenty of stuff going to be coming there in the next couple of weeks or so. And remember also, Season 3 sign-ups are still open as well. I believe they're open until Sunday, so you can get your pre-season sign-ups in for Season 3, and we start, of course, in just a couple of weeks' time, where I can officially say it'll be my first full season as your TTML head commentator going forward, and next week, across all streams, we hope to be revealing the commentary lineup, of course, for next season as well. It's pretty much all finalised. You're going to be seeing some old and some new faces, of course, alongside us here in TTML going forward and on League Racing TV. Of course, next action, of course, comes up tomorrow. Division 5, myself and Daniel Hoggard taking you through that one. Division 4 is Graham Chappell and Cowboy, of course, taking you through Division 4, where, of course, Division 5 has been outscoring Division 4, which is a real strange occurrence in terms of the commentary. It's really great to see everyone tuning in. But please, Division 1 and Division 2 deserves the most attention, especially from this race tonight. We have got our race winner in tonight. Effing finally was his comments there in the Discord. It is Gary, of course. And Gary, you took it by 4/10 of a second. How was that race for you?
It was quite a roller coaster up. Like, after I completely bottled quali, I was down in, I think I qualified at 11th or something, and then in the pits got held by my teammate Ryan, which I wasn't too happy about. But yeah, in the end, just kept the head down, kept doing the laps, and unfortunately for Ryan, he picked up one too many pens. So luckily for me, I was able to capitalise on that and take a win finally in TTML.
I think it's your second win in TTML, actually, after Baku, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my god, I forgot about Baku.
So it's not your first win. You can be pleased that you won in Baku a few rounds ago.
Wow, I actually can't believe I forgot about that. Jeez, yeah, so two wins this season, 2 wins. Wow, I can't believe I forgot that.
2 wins this season, yeah. But did you feel, actually, with that hold up in the pit lane, that you had a chance of actually winning this because of the penalties that were picking up around you?
Well, I knew I could probably get a podium after the first stint when I came out of the pits. I was like, okay, maybe I can get a podium here. And then once I got held, I thought I would have lost a lot more time than I did. Thankfully, I didn't. So yeah, once the safety car restart happened, I thought, I felt like I had a chance to win due to people having a lot more pens than me around me. So thankfully, in the end, that came true and I was able to win.
And it was a fantastic win, of course, out on track, keeping it as clean as possible, even though you did pick up that 3-second penalty, of course, out on track. Mike, do we have any questions for Gary?
Just one. Were you playing the team game until Ryan picked up that second penalty? So it did look like you were dropping back a bit too suspiciously. No,
not at all. I was trying to go as fast as I can. I think the problem I had was Ryan was getting DRS off Tionis, and so even though I was catching quite a lot in the middle sector, but in the third and first sector the DRS was just too powerful. And I was pushing a lot. I wanted to get the win on track. Unfortunately, I couldn't, but I'll take a win on pens any day of the week.
I believe, actually, looking at the standings, you might have moved ahead of J. Cole into 4th position as well in the standings, which must be...
That is all I care about.
I was going to say, that must be really good, I think, from a League of Europe perspective, because you like to outgun him, don't you?
He likes to go on about how he's beating me a lot in here, so he won't be able to say that anymore, which is good.
Until the final round of the season, of course, which is happy.
He could beat me there, true.
He could beat you. How do you think you're going to... Oh, go on, Mike.
I was going to say, there is another thing. Because you and Ryan got the 1-2, you have drawn a lot of points in the Constructors, and I think it is still possible for you to overtake Alpha.
Well, that wouldn't be a bad shout now. If we could beat the other XL guys, that would be really nice. That'd be not what I aim for at the start of the season, but it'd be nice to actually take something away from them. So, yeah. That's what we'll probably aim for now. Hopefully they have a bad race in Abu Dhabi.
Watch this space next week. Inter-team rivalry going on between Alfa Romeo and Renault. The guns are going to be out, quite literally, I think, out on track. Final question from me. How do you think you're going to get on around Abu Dhabi? Of course, it's the season finale. How do you feel that you're going to get on around the track?
It's not a track that I'd favour a lot, but I'd also say that for this track. So we'll just see what happens, put the practice in, and hopefully we can get results similar to this.
Practice makes perfect, and that was proven here tonight, definitely. Thank you so much, Gary. We'll now move on, of course, to Ryan, who finished in P2. And Ryan, really good performance from you. You came back on the back, of course, of that win in Japan, and you've really excelled. I will stop with that pun eventually. You've really, honestly, been driven, I think, by that performance in league racing in general. How did you feel about that race?
Well, coming into Mexico has not been a track of my pleasure, shall I say. And obviously, coming from the win last week in Japan, I had a lot of momentum, and I think that was what carried me around the track and actually made me drive the way I did. Because I think if I didn't win last week, I would have probably had a bad race.
And obviously a really good performance from you in second. Did you feel when you held up your teammate in the pit lane that you were going to win this?
Well, yeah, because I think I was going to pit the lap after anyway, and literally the safety car came out as I was coming around the final corner, so it was literally just luck of the timing. And I know Gary was hoping that I went past the pit so he didn't get held. And obviously, once he did realise he got held, I obviously got a big mouthful in the ear, and I was just silently giggling away to myself at the front, knowing that it wasn't my fault at all.
I would have liked to have been in that party, I think, at that time, to be honest.
Yeah, headphone users, be warned if you were in that party. It was loud.
Oh, God. That's a good job I wasn't in there, then. Mike, any questions for Ryan?
Just about that middle stint, and it seemed like you on no sauce. You were absolutely flying and making overtakes like it was nothing. Is there any particular overtake that you thought was top quality?
So obviously I went for the softer strap on the tyre selection because I was going to go soft medium anyway. But obviously safety cars around here was just my only concern. So I had a fresh set for my second set, and I knew I'd have the pace. And obviously I got put behind a couple of medium runners, and I just started sending it. And I think I did like a double overtake around, I think it was Volakongen and Cam, I think. I'll have to check my... Yeah, it was a nice little... Because I obviously had the grip and the speed, and I just held it around there, and I was like, oof. Get a bit excited, not going to lie.
It was fantastic to watch, and it was absolutely great watching you fly through the order, and it was a bit of a shame to see you get a second penalty and Gary steal it very quickly.
Yeah, it broke me because obviously Jonas had 12 seconds, and I was in his DRS, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to use him, and then second to last lap I was like, right, I'm just going to go for it. And he fought me, and I was like, oh, why have you done this? Gary is going to beat me. Obviously he didn't care, but I was like, I just wanted to beat him. But obviously P1 and P2 for Renault is, after the break, I'll quite happily take it.
Yeah, fantastic going forward, of course. Abu Dhabi next week, how do you feel you're going to get on?
Well, I said that Mexico was a bad track. Abu Dhabi is another bad track, but I seem to perform at my bad tracks, so I guess it's a good track. But like I said for Gary, I'll put the time in, I'll put the effort in, and just see what happens, really.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating, I think, going into next week, of course. Thank you, Ryan. We move on towards our P3 sitter, Chionis, who we didn't expect to be interviewing, actually, because of the amount of penalties he picked up out on track. Chionis, how was your race?
It was, as you said, very messy with the penalties. I hadn't really done any practice, so I got quite surprised by the strict corners here in Mexico, so I had to do some adjusting, but didn't really manage it. But yeah, good to have a podium out of this. Didn't really feel deserved with that many penalties.
Yeah, 12 seconds worth of penalties around the track, that is so difficult, I think, to not pick up a penalty at, which was a shame. But you came across the line to take the win out on track. It was a fantastic performance from you. Just how good of a race was it from your perspective, in terms of controlling it, in terms of just being mentally right there?
It's a good question. I thought about that quite a lot during the first period of the race, that I wasn't really focused. I was just focusing too much on my mistakes and just thinking about what I shouldn't do, which always is a bad thing. You always have to think about what you should do. So really just try to focus to the second stint of the race and get my head down and get myself as fast as possible to the finish line.
Yeah, definitely. Mike, any questions?
No, you pretty much covered it all, to be honest.
I think I've covered it for everyone, to be honest. But we'll move on, of course, to Abu Dhabi. How do you think you're going to get on around there?
Good question. I don't really know. I did a 100% event there a couple of weeks ago, and I think I beat Isotopic by a couple of seconds. And he's obviously dominating in third division here, so hopefully I'm not too bad.
If that's anything to go by, then you should be right to the top in Abu Dhabi, we hope.
Hopefully I'll try my best at least and see what that gets me.
Of course, it'll be fantastic to see. Thank you very much, Jonas, and that concludes our interviews here tonight. But I'll throw it across to Mike for his final thoughts. And Mike, who was your driver of the day, most importantly?
It's got to be Gary, coming from 11th on the grid to take the win. It was a fantastic drive.
Yeah, Mashiro as well, I think, did really well, I think, out on track. Obviously being awarded the championship coming out on track. Really didn't go his way, but he still finished towards the top end of the field, which is just Mashiro's demeanour, I think, out on track. And it's been fantastic, I think, definitely to see his growth from Division 3 last season, Division 2, and then Division 1, possibly next season, if he accepts, of course, going up. It's going to be fantastic to see how he progresses forward as well. My driver of the day, though, overall, I'm going to have to give it to Ryan. I think Ryan deserves it with that double overtake around the outside of turn 5. I think definitely it might have been one of the best moves I've seen around Mexico from Ryan. So I think Ryan gets my driver of the day vote. And that is it. We're all done. We are all done. You can now go to bed, rest easy, stay safe, of course, in this crazy world that we all live in. We will be back, of course, tomorrow. Division 4 and 5 are going to be live from you at 8 o'clock UK time. It is Graham Chappell, of course, taking you through Division 4, and myself and Dan Hoggard taking you through Division 5. Recently awarded 2 times commentator of the season in League of Europe. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of hesitancy on the stream tomorrow night, I'm sure. But, of course, we are back with CRC on Saturday and on Sunday. Still looking for commentators for that, so if you're interested, do get involved. You can tweet at CompetitiveRC on Twitter, and I'm sure they will throw us in the direction of us, and we will assign, of course, commentators to that. And then on Monday, CWC starts as well, Australia. The round 1 of the championship is going to begin there, and that is of course on Monday night at 7 o'clock. It's going to be fascinating to see how CWC gets on, and then we're back at it again. Abu Dhabi, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday, and then pretty much that is it for the Season 2 of TTML. But for myself and Mike Edwards, please stay safe. Please keep to the lockdown and keep to the restrictions that are in place. Wherever you are tuning in from the world, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.
Here by my side. Yeah, I thought this moment could be ours. While I'm walking on you through the night, you can break my bones, break all the promises, but leave me alone. Don't break my heart. You should fucking stay with him. Fucking stay with him. Darling, if I had bought you flowers, what if you stayed at home the night? Yeah, I've been lonely counting hours while I'm getting blinded by the light. You can break my bones, break all the promises, but leave me alone. Don't break my heart. You should fucking stay with him. Fucking stay with him. Break my bones, break all the promises, but leave me alone. Don't break my heart.
When I'm up through the night, I can't turn down the noise. Say all the words out of my mind.